gorgeous lash tribers. First of all, I thought it would be a great idea, right? I went live yesterday to explain that I wanted to share some lash love and some of my knowledge in the Lash Tribe group. I have a group where I do this a lot more in depth, like for an hour, and I talk to people about their lashing, and they can ask me questions at any time, and I'm there all the time. But that's a membership group called the Lash Lessons, and I haven't done a review like this for a very long time within the actual Lash Tribe group. So I'm a little bit excited to share this with you today. Cool, let's share our screen, and I'm going to go straight in. Paulina was the first one. So a client asked for a messy cake in style, mega volume, usually gets volume. So one thing I want to say first up, if you know me, you know that I'm very, very direct and very honest, and I do this with love to help you to become better. So if you feel like I'm criticizing your work a little bit too much, take it on board and practice and become better. Don't feel offended. I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm here to literally just tell you my professional opinion, because I've been doing lashes since 2010. I run thousands of students as online courses, as well as in-person training, and styling is one of my most favorite things to do, and I can get really in depth. So I want to share with you that knowledge, right? So I hope you take it on board, and it's all constructive criticism. Let's get started. I'm going to click onto the first one. Now, first up, you can see my mouse, right? And I might even show this with a pencil. I always try and go from the middle of the face, okay? Now, this client here, as you can see, has a very asymmetrical face. Everything from the middle to the right is slightly lower. Her eyebrow is sitting lower, her eye is sitting lower, her cheek is almost on par, okay? So her eye is slightly lower and her eyebrow as well. Now, it could be that she's not looking completely front on, but if you look at it, it looks pretty damn front on. So that means her muscles are a little bit stronger here because she's pulling up her eyebrow quite heavily, while it might be slightly droopy here, and this is why everything on this side is sitting slightly lower. Yeah, would you agree? First up, if I just look at it like that, I think this styling suits her. Naturally, she has a cat eye, which means her eyes are slanting upwards, yeah? So if this happens, you can actually take the lashes out a little bit further, because it won't make it look droopy. Now, if her eyes, and I go like this just to show you how upturned her eyes actually are. If they were flat, it would be flat, but they are like this, okay? So a lot of Asian eyes have beautiful almond shaped eyes, but they still are slanting upwards, okay? If her eyes were drooping like that, we would not be able to have a styling like that at all. Now, it's very hard for me to say because it's not a very close-up photo, but if I was to compare both sides, I would say they're not in balance. First of all, because this eye is slightly droopier downwards, you know, it's not so bad, but if you look really closely, you can see if I follow this line really straight, and I have my iPhone, literally you can see the lines on the screen, right? If I follow it up, you can see how the lashes on the left-hand side are actually longer. So what I like to do with clients like that, where the eye is slightly lower, I do a mill longer, yeah? Maybe not so much in the inner corner, but starting from about the inner pupil area, and I would have it a little bit longer all the way throughout, even up to the outer corner. However, her outer corner here is already quite heavily lashed, so I want to be careful with this client, okay? Maybe just slightly drop down your length in the outer corner. So if you were to drop all of this area to maybe 2 or 3 mil shorter, you would still have the same look, but you wouldn't have the droopiness of the lashes here, right? Same on this side. Just imagine you got rid of these few lashes. It would make it look a little bit more upright. So I would have gone a little bit longer. And also, if you're looking at this area here and this area here, we haven't got the same amount filled. So this is why sometimes with these types of styles, it's a bit difficult because you need to put so many lashes on them, and mega volume requires a lot of work and time. Sometimes it's really valuable if the client sets up and you have a quick look at what areas need more filling. Sometimes when the eyes are shut, it's looking great, but once they open their eyes, you can see that there's certain areas where it needs a little bit more. So I would have loved to see another couple of spiky bits. I think you have done the spikiness not quite enough. If you go really closely, you can see how she has used a single lash here. It's either a flat lash or 0.15, I believe, probably 2 to 3 mil longer. I would have liked to see a couple more next to each other, and then also a few more in this area to really have a very fluffy kind of spiky look. Still fluffy but spiky, okay? You need to have quite a difference in lengths if you want to have this happen, because if you have your clients shutting their eyes, you might be able to see the spikes, but once they open their eyes, you may not be able to see the spikes anymore. Unfortunately, it happens all the time, okay? So this is what I recommend that you do next time. Now, I cannot comment on the neatness of the fans. I can't really comment on the attachment because it won't allow me to see. But if I was to look at her styling wise, I think it's a good idea. Another thing to consider is the space between her eyes. So if I was to take all these lashes away, how would you have the eyes come together? See how they're looking like they're closer together now? And I go like that, and that looks like it's drawing it out more. Again, it's a nice shape for her eye shape. But yeah, if you want to consider the width between her eyes, and I like that you have used longer length in the inner corner because it's drawing it back together a little bit, is that she's very wide set. If you were to measure from her inner corner, let's try this. Inner corner from the wide to the outer corner of the wide. This is one eye width. Ideally, in the perfect world, you want to have the same width in between the eyes. So if you were to move that, you can see how wide set they are. There's so much room still. Okay. So this is it for this client. I hope that's helped. Let me go back to my screen. Let me know if this was any good. This was client number 1. Now, to make it any better, I would say just work on the even distribution of your lashes and your fans. We're missing some spikes. I think the styling is okay. Having it slightly longer on this eye, if you're looking at me, this eye would have been a good idea. You should just have it 1 mil long. Next one. Any questions and concerns, let me know in the comments. Next, there's some comments on it here already. She is very gorgeous. She has a very heart-shaped face, doesn't she? Very, very wide at the top and then coming down very, very narrow. Okay, with someone like this, and this is what I teach in my advanced styling courses, is that you want to try and not have this area even more protruding, like coming out more. And because the lashes are really quite long, it looks like it's even wider, yeah? But on the other hand, it might look really good because you said she was a model also for competition. It might be that kind of special look that people love as well. So it could go either way, okay? But if I was to comment on this, I think personally, I find the outer corner lashes too long. If I was to take away this bit here, it just makes her eye shape a little bit more rounded. I would probably have something a little bit more rounded here. Now, because she has also upturned eyes, like she also has these cat eyes naturally, it is okay to use the length. But because her face shape is just so huge, sorry to say, but it's big on the top, and she's coming down so narrow, like she has this really heart-shaped face, I would try and have it a little less long. Yeah, I think a styling that would have been more natural for her, or maybe even a dolly styling, would have been a little bit more perfect for her face shape. That is what I would teach in a course, okay? Now, also, it is a very messy look, so it's definitely not something that I could judge on evenness of fanning, because it doesn't look even. It's very messily applied. I don't know what it is. It is like hybrid. Is it volume, but you just pick up lashes and throw them in? It's not a fluffy volume look as we know it in the Russian volume. It's more of a Hollywood volume slash hybrid type look. Yeah, of course she's gorgeous, she has beautiful eyes, so she can get away with the length in the outer corner, but personally I would have definitely had it a little bit shorter on the outer corners, just to make her face slimmer at the top. Okay, does that make sense? I've been lashing her for almost 3 years, and I always like switching up shape and length, so it's hard to keep it consistent. And I think that's great. I mean, keep taking photos and then see what looks best on her. This is just my personal opinion of how I teach. I know other people teach very similar, and it's all about the face shape. So if someone has a super rounded face, really round, I would not put a dolly look on them to make it even more round. If someone has super close set eyes, I would not have something extremely short on this person. I would try and elongate. So it's all about finding the right balance in the face shape. So my face shape is like rounded, but it's blocky on the sides. Yeah, so for me, looking at my eyes, I have very, very slight wide set, but I don't have to balance anything out, right? So for me, I can wear a dolly, I can wear something a bit longer, but really, I don't really like very long lashes anyway, so for me it doesn't matter. But if I had really wide set eyes, I would want to bring them closer together. If I had a really huge face, I wouldn't want to make it look even bigger with longer lashes in the outer corner. I hope that makes sense. This is an interesting one. First up, I want to ask those people that are watching, what can you see straight up, the first thing when you're looking at this eye and comparing it to this eye? What is the first thing that you can see? One part is that that side is more droopy on the eyelid. What is another thing that you see straight up? So we can see her here, right? So first of all, you are very correct that this one has a heavier, well, not heavier, it actually has less of a heavy lid. This one is a little bit heavier. This one is not as heavy. So you can see the fold here. Actually, no, this has two folds, sorry. So this has one fold and comes down. This has two folds. So the first fold comes down and almost leans on the lashes, and the second fold starts to form. So this one has more skin, is a little bit heavier. You are very correct. But the thing that I noticed first of all is that this eye looks to be shorter in width. So this eye is actually a little bit shorter than this one. And I actually measured it out to show you with a little card. If I was to place this right into the inner corner and measured it to the outer corner, this is where it would be. And if you connect it to the other side, you can see inner corner there, you can see how that's just slightly shorter, probably about 1 millimeter shorter. Okay, what does that mean? It means that we need to try and elongate this eye just ever so slightly. Okay, it is sitting also lower, like you can see the lashes here, how they are straighter. On this side they are curlier because they don't have the weight of the eyelid lying on them, and here you have them straighter. Can you see the difference there? So you can see how this is straighter, the lashes, and these are curlier. So when you go down to the bottom to see the picture, you can see how these just look slightly droopier in the outer corner, just because our lashes are so straight here, and these are like pointing up. That means if you're applying a C curl on this client, for example, can't really see what lashes they are. There could be a B curl, there could be a C curl, there could even be an L curl or an M curl. I can't tell. It looks like it might be even an L, a very slight L curl, like LJ or something like that, or LC. Because these lashes are curlier, this lash, so in this outer corner here, because the lashes are curlier, the lash gets kicked up a bit more, and because they're flatter here, they just stay a bit lower, right? So they're pointing in a different direction. They're pointing down that way, and these are pointing that way. So you need to take that in consideration, and the way to do it is to actually apply a different curl on this side. So this is why a consultation is so important. Now I have the logo in front of my face. A consultation is so important. I always look at the client from the front and from the sides. I compare the lids. I let them to shut their eyes so I can see exactly if the lids is drooping in any way. I get them to open them up, see if any lashes are straight. There's always areas where some lashes are straighter than others. If you are applying the same curl all the way throughout, you will have dips. in it. Yeah, it will not look even. It will not have a perfect line if you have dips in your lashes, because the natural lashes are a little bit straighter in certain areas. So you need to compensate with a different curl. Makes sense? So I think all in all, she did a pretty good job. I still have the logo in front of me, but that's okay. I would have kept them a little bit shorter. She has done a good job covering up the hood. The inner corners are not lashed ideal, you know, but I think in this area it looks pretty good. Now what I would have done is literally not lashed the right in the outer corner with anything that is more than like 6 or 7 millimeter. I would have kept that really short and I would have come straight in. So literally cover this area. Again, I like to have looks that draw the eyes up. Yeah, her eye shape is, it's not droopy, but you can see how her heavy lid makes it just goes down straight away. It's not like an almond shape, it's more almond and then it goes straight down and rounded, and this is a lot more almond shaped. Can you see the difference there? So this one just looks a bit more droopy than this one. Also be careful, the client already had slightly reddish eyes. She's probably not the best candidate for lashing if you're not 100% confident with the seal that you are creating when you are lashing, because if someone is already extremely red in the eye before you start lashing, it's usually an indication that they are quite sensitive. And so in this case, it has definitely gotten a little bit more red. Okay, so you need to be careful. Maybe even give them a little bit of eye drops beforehand to soothe their eyes. Wait 5 minutes and then lash them, okay? In this case, I would have personally probably done more of a squirrel look, where I would have gone quite short. I would have not had anything long in here. I would have gone quite short, and then I would have kept it the same length, and then I would have gone longer in this area, and then I would have dropped back down. So more of a squirrel look to really help her eye shape. But I think with what you had, you did a pretty good job. Does that make sense, everybody? If you want me to review any more lashes, I need you to give me photos, and I'll show you again. I need you to give me photos that are straight on, preferably the full head. So because head shape also plays a vital role in trying to pick the best styling. I cannot comment on anyone's styling. This is okay. I mean, at least I can comment on this. Don't know on this one. I guess it's the same person, right? Yeah, it is the same person, so it's fine. I can comment on your application if you want to. This is alright. I can already tell from looking at this. I will review it next week, Friday. It's not the correct styling for her. This sort of thing I can't correct you on styling because I only have one eye. I don't know what her face looks like. This one I can probably comment on, but it's difficult because she's kind of looking sideways. So this one I will look, you know, I look into it and I'll try, but it's the best to have it straight on, not sideways, not looking down, not looking like that. This one I can try and comment on as well. This one I can comment on. Can't comment on this one. I can comment on this one. No. Yes, yes. I don't know what happened there. Oh, now it's showing up. Okay, I have to kind of look sideways to tell. We have a lot of clients with upturned eyes in this instance. This is actually really good styling for her. I really like that. I'll comment on that next week. All right, my loves, I hope this helped. I gotta run. If there's any other questions on what I have reviewed, leave them down below and tag me, and I will do my best to review it. There we go. There we are again. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. And I will see you next week. And don't forget to post any other sets that you would like me to review, because it will really help you to become better, I think. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.